Hi, people. I'm Facebook Live. I've never been Facebook Live in my life, but I'm doing this for the first time tonight, and I'm going to do it all week. So if you can just let me know that you actually hear me and that you can see me. I'm Tracy Gray, and I own Five Star Talent and Productions, and I also own Gray Models and Talent. Um, Gosh, nobody's commented or clicked like or anything, so I don't know. There they are. Oh, you populated. Yay. Hi, people. Good. I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing something tonight that I feel is a little on the crazy side, a little on the courageous side, but it's time. It's time for me to do this. And I wanted to explain to you why I've kind of gone out on a limb, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad. And I don't care. I'm doing what I feel is right, and I'm doing what I feel is in my heart to do and to say because it's been too long coming. I have been in this industry and working in the capacity of a coach and of now an agent. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I started coaching when I was 20, and I'm going to tell you this, I am now 49 years old. So it's been a long time. And I've seen a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of watching other people have pitfalls and not be able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. Or people get totally afraid to even move forward because they don't know who to trust or who to talk to. And it's caused a genuine decline in the entire industry. And I'm going to kind of explain how I feel that has occurred. So I want you to, hang with me. Please do me a favor and be completely engaged in this conversation. I want you to click out all the other tabs and stop multitasking and really pay attention to what I'm saying because it matters. It matters to you if you're here, if you're paying attention at all. You know that this was something that you wanted to join in on and you felt compelled to do so because you have goals and you have dreams and you have things you want to accomplish and you need some help. So it's been my heart and my life story to try to help people in this situation. And that's what I'm here to do today. So I don't want you to miss any of this. And the same thing goes for Tuesday night and Wednesday night and Thursday night. I have units written in the group that show what topics I'm going to be covering, and I'm going to try not to jump from topic to topic and to keep all the content in the same place. I'm going to try and do that. I know I have a tendency as a human being to go on tangents, but I will try to keep those to a minimum so I can cover what I need to cover and not confuse anybody. But, I confuse myself regularly. So anyway, what I want you to do first is make sure that you have the workbook pages. And I tried to make that book so that you can choose the printable worksheets and just print out a couple of ones like that and not make it something where you had to print the whole thing and go through the ink of printing my face and my picture because nobody wants to do that. So I made it like that. So you need your worksheets. If you couldn't print them, look at them while you're online and just take notes on a separate piece of paper. I want you to remember these things so that you can go back to them. I want you to be able to go through your path and go through the things that are coming up in your life and notice the things that I've talked about and go, oh yeah, wait a minute, she said something about that. Let me look back at my notes. So I really want you to do that. And so that I know that people are being engaged and are paying attention and are thinking about these things in depth. And in the units, I would like for people to, once you've finished filling out the worksheets and such, some of it is really like your opinion. So once you get those done, I would like to see them posted back in the unit. And I am going to be doing giveaways for people that do that. And actually another giveaway that I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do a marketing strategy, and whatever your marketing strategy is, I'm going to do an assessment of that for you. So for the first person that posts their homework into the unit, I'm going to do an assessment of their marketing, meaning their social media, whether they have a reel, whether they have a resume, whether they have an Instagram, whatever it might be that you're using to market yourself. I will look it all over and I will give you my honest critique about how I feel that fits into the industry and the pros and cons of it. So I'm giving away that particular service to whomever posts their homework first. Now back to all the people that helped grow this group. I was so grateful. I had this goal of 300 people, and I had been advised that might take me 2 weeks to do. And instead I had 500 people in 3 days. So a lot of you are really supportive of this, and I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to definitely say the person that had the most shares and new members to the group that I offered free coaching to, I want to announce that one right now. Jordan Mitchell, I wanted to coach you anyway. I'm so excited. So I'm going to give you information about how to attend 12 hours of coaching with me so that I can work on you with, I would love to work on your acting side of things because I know your modeling is really strong. So I would love to do that, but I'm super happy that you are my most supportive person in that one day that got the most people that you shared with. I was really excited about that. Now, as I am in my home office, I'm gonna disclaimer this. I'm getting real. I'm a human being. I'm in my home office and my kids are here. So every once in a while, one of them's going to wander in and ask me for something like ice cream. So here comes one right now. Come here. Come here. This is Mariah. This is Mariah. She's my oldest daughter. What you need, babes? No, you can't have my phone. Bye. That is all that is. No, and I told her you can't have my phone for at least an hour. Bye. I need my phone. I'm doing something. No, it's not 8. It's
past 8.
9 o'clock. You can have it at 9. I said the wrong thing. Oops, mom's doing the wrong thing. Okay. I say one thing and then I take it back. Do other moms do this? Yeah. Okay. I need my phone because I'm referring to it. I've gone live. People are watching me right now, all over. Oh, she's scared now. Okay, so anyway, please expect these kind of things to happen. This is me being a human being. This is me being a mom. I do happen to have this fantastic brand new at-home office that I'm super excited about. And that's what it looks like. I'm very officey here. I have a runway, I have mirrors. I have an area for doing live, or not live, videotape submissions. Yeah, that's what they're called. She distracted me. Anyway, I have a spot for doing that in here. I have a place for everyone to sit and work out scripts together. I'm real excited about being in my space. So yes, I'm working from home and I'm going to stay that way. But one of the, moving forward and what I want to talk about and how we want to move into this whole topic of conversation, I had posted yesterday, day before, put your definition of modeling in a post. And then I looked it up because I've always had my opinion about what a model is and what an actor is. And according to the dictionary, a model is, wait a minute, it's scrolled, a person employed to display clothes by wearing them, a fashion model, a person employed to pose for an artist, photographer, or sculptor. Now, that seems really simple. Okay, good night, sweetie. Okay, so anyway, that was the definition. Seems very simple, seems very cut and dry. And frankly, if you think about it, yes, it's artistic, and yes, it feeds people's self-esteem, and yes, it's got all these really great points that add to it. However, the truth of the matter is that modeling and acting, as much as they are an art form and an expression, they're also an occupation. They are a profession. That's why it says someone employed to. So employed meaning you get hired, you get paid. And this is the fundamental problem that's going on these days, is the definition has become warped. And some of that is from the industry doing it, and some of that is a backlash of the industry scaring people away from the industry, and then they try and go off and do it on their own. So let me explain how this kind of functions and how this works. Here you are. You're a hopeful person, or you're a mom and you're driving in your car and this radio ad comes on, or you see something on Facebook and it says something that appeals to your kid. And that's who it usually is. It's the kid. So when I start talking about the pitfalls, and this is on your worksheet, this is how people get roped into a pitfall. And I'm calling it that because it's not just a pitfall. It's a sales pitch that comes with a pitfall. And I know a lot about this because I've been trained to do that, and then I didn't want to. I backed away from that side of the industry and said, I don't need to do this. But it's very well constructed. It's completely thought out, and you end up roped into this thing and you don't know how to get out of it. So this is something I want to talk to you about so that you can look around and you can be aware of the pitfalls. Now, this is where I'm going to piss off so many big companies in this industry. I believe there's several kinds of companies in this industry. There are companies who are running agencies that book people and book people and book people, and they're super stupid busy. They're hard to get into, and they don't have time to teach anybody anything. So if you're a developmental talent, you're not getting in there. In fact, someone else has to refer you in there who has taken you past developmental. So, okay, there's those companies, super stupid busy agencies. Then there are the support system companies, and those can be photography companies, those can be training companies, those can be like printing companies that handle comp cards and headshots and that kind of thing. Well, okay, so if we look at those companies, are they real? Are they legitimate? That is the question that is constantly asked me. Is this real? Everybody wants my opinion. Everybody wants my advice. Is this something real that I should do? And so what do I look for? What am I checking out when I decide to look into it? I don't know, but I'll look into it. I'll give you an example right now. This is so funny because Darren, everybody knows who Darren is. Darren's my brother, the photographer, the dude with the camera, dudewiththecamera.net. Darren is a really cool guy, but he sent me this because he knows what I'm doing. And he said, this is an example. And he sent me a post that says, does your child dream of becoming a Nickelodeon or Disney Channel star? We are coming to Laredo this Saturday only, auditioning ages 4 to 17. So there's the post. You click on it, and it takes you to a one-page thing. It's a one-page thing, and it says, our professionals have worked with stars that have appeared in, and then it gives you this collage of iCarly and Teen Wolf and Power Rangers and Jessie and Victorious, Henry Danger, all sorts of stuff. And there's a list down here. Now, the only thing it says is, attention parents, does your child dream of becoming a Nickelodeon or Disney Channel star? This Saturday only, auditions will be held in Laredo for actors, singers, dancers, and models aged 4 to 17. Check out the form right now for your chance to audition. Once you fill out the form, all of the audition information will be emailed to you. That's right, talent scouts are coming to Laredo looking for their next big star. Space is limited to the first 200 applicants and auditions. Fill up fast. Now, this is exactly what I was going to warn you of. Exactly what I was going to warn you of. Okay, first thing in your sheets that says how to avoid the pitfall and figure out what that is. The first thing that I said in marketing campaigns, what clues to look for. There's no mention of it being an agency. Now, a lot of companies aren't agencies, but these ones that try to say that their people have appeared somewhere are not agencies, but they're not using that term. They're on purpose not using that term because they can't. If they use that term, they'll get in big trouble, especially in cities and states like in California or in Florida or in New York. You can't say that you're an agency if you're not an agency. But the difference between a training company and an agency is an agency books the talent. Now, a lot of people misunderstand this. They misunderstand this ad and think that these people book the talent, but it doesn't say it's an agency. So they never will. They won't say that. They're talent scouts is what they call themselves. Okay, so our professionals have worked with stars that have appeared in. That's another interesting thing. Oh, wait, no, I'll go down to number 2. Number 2 thing to avoid a pitfall in the marketing campaign, a clue to look for is that the ads are geared towards kids and teens. Now, why do they do that? The reason why they do that is because emotionally speaking, a parent wants to please their child. They want to. That is just, our heart is real stuck in trying to make sure that our kids get every opportunity that we can possibly give them that maybe we never had. So here they go and appeal towards the kids and teens. Now they also know that once somebody's old enough to be an adult actor, then they've probably already gone through a program before. They've probably already had some training. They've had some experience. They don't need their services so much. So they don't want to appeal to them. They don't assume that that's where they're going to make their sales. So it's geared towards the teens and the kids. And then the kids see it and they go, Mom, 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 I want to do that. And the mom, of course, feels obligated. Okay, well, it's a free audition. I'll go. Maybe something will happen. Now, the interesting thing is they said it's limited to 200 people. The last time something like this was posted here in the Raleigh-Durham area, a mom went and she called me after going. And she said her daughter had never done anything like this before. And the room was full of people. And they told her daughter that she was in the top 23 out of the 2,000 people that they had seen. Now, I went, how did they come to the number 23? How did they get that? And did they see 2,000 people? How long were they in town? They weren't in town that long to see 2,000 people. So they're making up this crap so that then you feel like you're really, like your kid really has this immediate chance that's going to come from them. And you have no choice but to proceed. And the proceeding leads to the next day when they say, okay, we're going to call you back. If they've seen 2,000 people, how are they going to call them back in one day? They're not. That's a lie. So at any rate, now that they're already lying to you, then they say that they rank so high and that they have to come back in for a callback. At the callback, they're expected to pay. They're expected to pay for this event. They're expected to pay for coaching, and then the event, they're expected to pay. And sometimes those things say including marketing materials. Now, I once worked for a company that did this, and I was teaching, I was coaching for them. And people are commenting, I'm the best, thank you. Amen to that, yeah. So, okay, so here they are, all these people. They come in, they sit down, they hear the stories, they hear the success stories. And yes, okay, if a big company travels around from city to city to city to city for 20 years and talks to all those people, eventually one of those people is going to do something that causes them to make it, eventually. So in sheer numbers, they're going to have some success stories. That's going to happen. So they'll throw those out at you. They'll tell you that your kid has got the potential to do that and to be that. They won't make it seem nearly as difficult as it is. They say things that make it seem like they're just going to shoo them away into this great like manufacturing facility for kid stars. So that's the way it's geared towards the kids. So the next thing that you hear, and you don't hear anything about in their marketing, like before you even get in the door, they will never tell you how it is they make money. Now, an agency, we all know an agency makes money by taking commission. If you're a legitimate coaching company, which there are legitimate coaching companies. I love Margie Haber in LA, and I talk about her all the time. And she is a legitimate acting coach to Brad Pitt, Halle Berry, Kelly Preston, Vince Vaughn, and she's fantastic. But she also says, this is an acting studio. So you come in there and you expect to train and pay for training. It's an acting studio, just like a dance studio. And she doesn't hide that. She's not covering that up with some promise to make you a star. So why does all this occur? Why has this occurred? These big companies have been around a very long time. And this very long time, they didn't start that way. They didn't start saying this stuff. They started off as saying they were a finishing school or an etiquette school, etiquette and modeling. They taught poise. They taught personal hygiene. They taught makeup techniques. They taught how to do your nails, how to make sure that you look proper, how to make sure you sat in a manner that was attractive, how to make sure that you shook hands politely. Those were the things that they were selling back then. And those are the things that they did, as well as make models. Now, there were no supermodels. It wasn't a really stupid high-paying job at the time, but this is how they made a living. And that was very legitimate and fine. What has happened, society speaking, is that people don't buy that anymore. Nobody's buying finishing school. Nobody wants it. Nobody cares, unless they're trying to raise a debutante. So there is no finishing school. So they had to change this. So they changed it to a modeling company. But if you look at models, it's really a very small niche of people that can end up models. The attractive quality has to be there. Now the height requirements are going up and up and up and up, and it gets a smaller and smaller group of people that can actually model. So now they've become modeling and acting companies because actors can be any size and whatever. Now, The modeling industry is also starting to get bigger and bigger and expand into other types too, but those are still limited markets. So in order to appeal to people, they've made it now acting and modeling, which is why your kid could be the next Disney star. Instead of it being, does your daughter want to be a supermodel? Because they know they need more money. They do. They need more people so that they can make more money. So that's the way that's gone. Well, now that it's gone that way, and they've done this pitch, the reason why they do this pitch the way they do, and they bring people in and they tell them how this works. You see, I get more and more upset. I'm getting frustrated. They tell them all this stuff, and then they hit them with this big package. And the reason why they do this, and this makes people post all the time that it's a scam. It's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam. Well, here's the definition of a scam, truly. A scam is when someone has taken your money for something you didn't want or didn't need, or that they lied to you and gave you something else. So if they didn't sell it to you and if you didn't pay them, you have not been scammed. You've just been part of a sales pitch that you chose not to partake in. You didn't get scammed. Is the training legitimate? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. If it's legitimate training, there's nothing wrong with selling legitimate training. I'll go into that in the Be So Good They Can't Ignore You section about what it is you really need to know in order to be good. So in order to be marketed, in order to be good, you have to get past developmental. Now the problem is that most of these companies right now that are doing this stuff, they're not hiring qualified coaches. They're not hiring people who have been through the ropes or have had any limited number of experiences. They haven't had any experiences. They're bringing them up from the ranks of their graduates. So they're hiring people who just graduated from modeling school or just graduated from acting school, and they haven't had a job yet. And they're telling them they can be coaches, and they give them a manual and say, this is how it's done. So when that happens, you have someone in front of you who's not qualified, and you've paid thousands of dollars for someone who's not qualified, and they don't know how to critique people. I have been in a position where I had to hire acting coaches and modeling coaches. And the rough thing is, being that that's something I did a lot of my life, I thought it was a piece of cake. I thought it was something simple, but it's not. And the reason why it's not is because these people don't know how to critique somebody politely. They don't know how to say the right thing. I can look at a model and she's walking down the runway and I'm looking at her head and I'm looking at her shoulders and I'm looking at her hips and I'm making sure her legs are going the right way and I'm making sure her hands are in the right position and I'm making sure her head is up and I'm making sure her eyes are right. I'm looking at all these things. But if something's wrong, I need to know how to change her thinking to correct it. I need to know what to say to correct it. But these people don't know that. They don't know that, and sometimes they don't know how to say it without breaking confidence. So instead they just say, good, great, super, nice one. And they let them walk by and they don't fix anything. They'll get people up in front of a camera and let them do their scene or their commercial, and they don't critique it. They don't think it can get any better than that. And that's the problem. So now you've gone to a pitch, gotten roped in because your heart's in it to help your child. You've spent a ton of money. You've got somebody who's training you who shouldn't be training you. And then possibly they sell you marketing materials that are rush job photos that don't really get that done either. And then they put you in front of a whole group of VIPs. Now, I have now become one of those VIPs because I went agency, and I'm not doing it anymore. And I haven't told them that yet, but I'm not doing that anymore. And when wind of this whole conversation that I've just had gets back to these big companies, they're not going to pay for my hotel to come and do that anymore. And I know that, and I'm okay with it. And yes, it did supply me with hundreds of people that I could possibly book. And many of them are you right now, but I'm not going there anymore. And the reason why is because I'm watching them provide developmental talent to an agency and thinking that the agency is going to be able to choose these people when you see them for 3 minutes tops. And then they're still developmental after they paid all this money, but now you don't know what you can do with them. Like maybe you can get them an extra gig, maybe. And it's because they still need real coaching and they still need real marketing materials, and you can't do anything with them. And so I went back to this company and I said, well, would you like my help training your trainers? Because I could do that. And they went, no, that's okay. They said they pay their coaches $12 an hour. So I was overqualified and they wouldn't do it. So the people are still then churned back into another event, another big VIP event where they have to be put in front of these people. Now, what's the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So go back to the same coaches, learn the same almost nothing, and go stand in front of the same VIPs again, but you're paying for it. So what this has created is that people go through this and other people tell other people all about it. We all know moms talk. So moms have told other people about it. And then this thing is spread like wildfire that all of these companies are scams. Now, the problem with that is there's really talented kids out there that don't know what the heck to do. I almost said a bad word. I did. See how mad I am? I'm mad. So, okay, so this is what happens now from an agency perspective. Okay, I've now got a bunch of developmental talent who have spent all their money on coaching. They don't want any more coaching. They don't want to pay to coach or learn. So we'd have to teach them for free, and then we're not making any money because we don't have time to book them. Or we can only book them so much or so often, or they'll get chosen amongst other people because it's only going to happen every once in a while because they're not ready. They're not good enough yet. So what are we going to do? Okay, so now the people that hire the talent, a lot of them don't think that the talent's worth paying. So if the talent's not worth paying, they're going to try and knock down the rates of pay. So now all the talent has to go have a real job, which means that the talent who now have a real job can't get to the auditions anymore because they have to work their real job. So now everybody's stuck, right? Everybody's stuck in this vicious cycle. I'm developmental. I've already had coaching. I've already spent all my money. I don't know what the heck to do. And that's the sad thing that's happened to this industry. So everybody decides, okay, I'm going to be freelance. But they're freelance with no skills. So they have photographers that might pay them $100 here and there, but they're not getting the real money either because they don't know how to get the real jobs because they don't have any real skills and they don't know where to go again. And this is what's happening. This is what's causing a genuine crumble of the industry. I now, as an agent, have had to chase the pay down for my talent more times than one, because people don't even think that the talent's going to be worth being paid when they're professional. This is a profession. And us as a group of talent are allowing this decay to occur. Part of it is because we are going, well, I'll just take the free thing then. I'll get exposure. Ooh, we are now on to my beware words. On to my beware words. Okay, no, wait. Oh, the objections are interviewing to overcome. See, I go off on tangents. I gotta roll myself back in. I'm glad I have notes. Stay with me, people. Okay, so the objections that they're interviewing to overcome, when they sit you down at those events, they're asking you about your ambition level because they want to make sure that your kid isn't being pushed by a stage parent. So they try and judge your ambition level. Now, this really is because later on, they're hoping that you don't say, I'm really not interested. Because you can't say you're not interested. You already said you want it really bad. So they get rid of that objection. And then the next thing they say is, are you available to go to castings and auditions and things like that? And they try and figure out what your schedule's like because they want to make sure that you say you have the time to be there for their training thing and then their eventual big event. Okay, so time. And then the next thing, some of them will be gutsy enough to say this and some of them won't. Some of them will be gutsy enough to say, have you thought about putting time or putting some of your expenses aside to fund your career? Now, I asked everybody earlier to talk about how much money they've spent towards their acting and modeling career. And the majority of them were in the $5,000 range. The majority. And I'm willing to bet that the majority of those same people have not made that money back. I'm willing to bet you. So thumbs up to that. No, thumbs down. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, so how do we get out of this vicious cycle? Beware words. Make sure that when you're looking at these companies' marketing and you're trying to decide whether or not you should go to something, notice these words. First one is discover. Write it down on your thing. If you see the word discover, we want to discover you. Discovering you is BS. Okay, there's no such thing as discovering you. If we could discover you, you could sit at your house on your couch and watch America's Next Top Model, and we'll knock on your door and say, you've been discovered. That doesn't happen. Okay, the people that have so-called been discovered have been working at it a very long time. It's like when people come on to American Idol, and you know they've been singing in their garage and in their local pubs and in all these other places and at the state fair, and they've been doing it for years. They are not brand new, neither are the people that are so-called discovered. They've been working at it a long time. So if they say they're going to discover you, that's not really accurate. So that's a watchword. Beware of that one, because it makes everybody think, oh, instant gratification. I'm going to run right out there and do this. Discover me. No, you don't want to be discovered. You want to work at this. You want to hone your craft. You want to go where you're supposed to go, and you want to pay your dues, and you want to do the things that build up your resume so that you can be good at this and audition and get in front of the right people and then get jobs. You don't need to be discovered. I look amazing. Thank you, Lindsay. Look, I'm growing in my gray because I'm Tracy Gray with the Gray Agency. I look amazing. Thanks. Anyway, it feels so good getting older. Anyway, okay, so the next thing you want to look out for is the word star. If they use the word star and promise stardom, that's another big thing to look out for. They should not be promising stardom. Maybe you should just want to be a working actor. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of people that do it. And a commercial pays really good. So why not promise people that they could be a working actor? Instead, they have to say, oh, you're going to be a star? No, not everybody's going to be a star. Not everyone has star quality. I say that talent is like popcorn. If you take popcorn and you throw it in a pan, you throw it in the pan and some of it immediately goes pop, 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 pop. And some of it, if you throw it back in the pan, it'll pop. And some of it will never pop. It just won't. And most of the time it's because they choose to quit. So how can you promise anybody anything? I don't know what you're going to do. I had one guy with me for a while, and he was a great student, and I asked him, do you want to be a working talent or do you want to be a celebrity? And he said, I want to be so famous that I have a Victoria's Secret model on my arm on the red carpet, and I want paparazzi outside of my house taking pictures of me when I come out of the shower. And I said, that's pretty spot on. You know exactly what you want. Okay, kind of clear. He joined the Army. So if we can say that we're going to make you into something, we have no clue what you're going to do. I don't know if you're going to follow through with these goals. I don't know if you're going to quit. I have no idea. I could say that you have the potential to be a dentist. Are you actually going to be a dentist? I don't know. Are you going to go to dental school? After you go to dental school, are you going to work underneath some other dentist and then eventually open your own practice? And then once you open your own practice, you have to, get your marketing together and put it all out there so that people come in and know you're there. Are you going to do all these things so that you can be a successful dentist? I don't know. So I won't make that call for anybody. I can't tell you if you have potential, and nobody else can really either. And if they try to, they're blowing smoke. But they're actors and they're models. I had one mom tell me one time that she was absolutely certain that the people that she was auditioning with were legitimate because the producers had nice suits. I don't know if you were listening, but whoever said this to me, I went, did you ever watch the Grammys? Have you watched the Academy Awards? Have you watched those things? Anybody that's in production usually shows up with like a ball cap, like a bad suit. That's what they look like. They don't wear Armani ever. So if somebody's wearing Armani and telling you that they're a TV or video producer or a movie producer, I don't think so. Those guys don't do that. They have like the same blazer they wear like 10 years. So anyway, people like this. Okay, it's good. Another thing to look for, if they say audition, if they say talent scouts, those are other words that are catchphrases. You need to look out for those. It's not really an audition. If I have, excuse me, getting all the clump, Gestalt in my connecticus like, okay, so if I have a legitimate need for talent, I'm posting a casting call. I'm not posting an audition. I do have open call days, but that's not really an audition. I don't say audition. Audition is really more like a theater term. So if they say auditioning, that's probably a clue. Recital. One woman told me she did modeling recitals. So basically she taught a bunch of kids and then she put them on a stage somewhere local and had them do whatever it was that they did in front of their parents and their grandparents. And that was their end all be all great thing. So that's a modeling recital. Never heard that one before, but if you see it, it's probably not worth doing. Interesting terms like such as. If in their marketing they say such as. Now this one did a great job. I'm going to go back to that because that was just amazing. I'd never heard it said just like that exactly. Our professionals have worked with stars that have appeared in. So our professionals, does that mean people that went through their program? Or does that mean the people that they hired to work with them? Is that the people that started this? Are they the professionals? Who's our professionals? I have no idea. Have worked with stars that have appeared in. What stars? Which stars? So they've worked with stars that have appeared in. So they did like an extra job with them, or maybe, I don't know what that means. They've worked with stars that have appeared in. So they're saying their professionals didn't actually appear in any of these, but people they worked with appeared in those. And maybe people that they worked with appeared in those as extras, but they're calling them stars because, hey, everybody's throwing that word around, right? Okay, so such as, when they say our talent has worked in shows such as, or walked runways for companies such as, that means kind of sort of like that, but not necessarily those. Be aware of the such as. Very, very tricky word. Okay, another word that you need to look out for is the word exclusive. Now, I know everybody thinks like, oh, I want to be signed exclusive to this agency. I want to be signed exclusive to that agency. Well, you think so. But if somebody is immediately offering you exclusive representation, you have to be careful. That's not a trap to keep you in. If they're going to have you exclusively, that means that they don't want anyone else to have you. So be careful of that. And I'm going to go more into that in the section 4 of design or not design. That is the question. Shakespeare. I thought that would be fun. So anyway, okay, so now we are down to the end of the words. Now that you've hit this spot, what could you have done better? What could you have done better to make sure that you didn't end up in this pitfall? Okay, they ran you through this mill and through this process, and they do it so fast, and they put the pressure on you because, first off, many people, and this is common, people will run from pain faster than they will run to pleasure. Now remember that. People run from pain faster than they will run to pleasure. So the pain of missing out, F-O-B-O, F-O-M-O, F-O-M-O, FOMO, fear of missing out, that's the term, FOMO. Took me a second, but I got it. So anyway, they prey upon that. They prey upon that and they put you into this really quick decision-making process. And the reason why they do that is because you don't have the chance and you don't have the time to comparison shop. If you're buying anything of value, why aren't you comparison shopping? Why aren't you looking around? Why aren't you trying to figure out if it's what's best for you? So what should you be comparison shopping? You should be comparison shopping your agencies. Before you sign with anybody, Yes, they might offer you something big, and they might offer you something that sounds fantastic, and it's like, wow, I really want this, and a sign on the dotted line. You know what? Don't do that. Comparison shop. Because some agencies, I just saw one, I could not believe this. They signed somebody up for classes, and at the bottom of the class registration, it said, signing up for these workshops means that you have agreed to exclusive representation with our company. Agreement to follow. So people are signing up for a workshop, and while they're doing it, they're agreeing to an agreement they didn't even see yet. To be exclusive? For how long? I don't know. But you're stuck with that agency and only that phone ringing on your behalf. And maybe they're going to work for you and maybe they're not. But you're paying them. So, okay, let's bring up that. What do you pay for? What don't you pay for? What's okay to pay for? There's that thing that went around that said that talent should never pay for anything up front. And this, again, is one of those things that got warped over time. The way that whole saying started years ago was people were told not to pay an agency for upfront representation because agencies in LA started asking for a representation fee, or they were charging to audition. And in order to keep talent from having that situation and that falsehood going on, people put out, you shouldn't pay your agency for upfront representation. That is the actual verbiage of what people should be saying instead of don't pay your agent for anything, because that's not necessarily true either. There are agencies who are in smaller markets who need to sell other services to keep their doors open. So they will sell coaching and they will sell photo shoots and they will sell printing and they will do that so that their 20% isn't all that they're relying on. If you think about that, 20%, you're getting 80, and you don't have the overhead that the agency has. And how long did it take them to find that gig? And how long did it take them to find all these talents? And how long did it take them to place them into these positions and then get a yes? And then they get 20 cents on the dollar. Holy crap. That'll pay for the lights in their ginormous studio, which everyone thinks they need in order to look legitimate. Okay, well, you're making them broke. You're making them broke by doubting them, but you should sometimes doubt them. That's the tricky part. So, okay, so that they can avoid all this stuff, let's get back to this. What should you pay for? You need to pay a coach for coaching. Now, I know people are going, oh, I'm a natural actress, I'm a natural model, I'm a natural whatever, I'm a natural. I've never met a natural. I know everybody says that Jennifer Lawrence never had any acting classes, and okay, maybe she's the one freak out of the whole pile of people that have ever been an actor. But I've never known a natural, not one. And I've been in this since I was three. If you hand somebody a guitar, say Eric Clapton walked into my office and I handed him a guitar, but now he's a child. So I hand him a guitar. I think he needs guitar lessons so that he can practice and become Eric Clapton. And that makes sense. That's how you get good. That's how you learn. If you watch John Travolta from the beginning of his career to the end of his career, which isn't the end, it's not the end, he's still working. He wasn't that good at Vinnie Barbarino. He was not that good at that. But he learned and he grew and he practiced and he studied. And that's how he became great. You can't be great. I mean, Halle Berry had 3 acting coaches when she won Best Actress. Margie Haber was one of her acting coaches. That's why I know this. So if she had acting coaches all the way up until she won Best Actress, then who's so good they can't improve? No, you always have to try to improve if you want to do that. Or you can be a career extra, which is what's happening. Everyone's so afraid to go out and get coaching because they're too afraid to pay anybody. Oh my gosh, there was this one company here. I'm now in North Carolina. Some of you know that, some of you don't. Transplanted from Florida. Boy, did I see something. They put blooper reels on their website of their students and called them reels. So we as professionals view this as the best that they can do, and they're flubbing their lines. Like, What? No, that's not a reel. That's an embarrassment. But this company took people's money and stuck embarrassment online to market them. So yes, be careful who you're paying. Find out what their success stories are. And sure, if somebody's living in LA and a coach in LA like Margie, she's going to have more success stories just based on where she is. But it doesn't matter. There should be some sort of accountability for who's coaching you. You go to these big things where you're sitting there in the hotel and there's 200 people and they tell you who your coach is going to be and they show you this beautiful young person, but they don't tell you a resume. They don't tell you who they coached that got anywhere. They don't tell you that because it didn't happen. So you want a resume or a bio or some sort of success stories that lead back to this person who you're trusting with your future. You want to know that they know what they're talking about, that they actually know how to teach you how to act or how to model. Now, models are not natural when they don't know what a Model C hand position is, which I'll go into in the other webinar. Be so good they can't ignore you. If you want to know what a Model C hand position is, go there because I'll see you in 2 days. But we can look at a picture and know immediately if that talent knows how to pose. It takes us that long, and we know. So if that's the case, and we can discern who knows what they're doing and who doesn't so fast, we're not going to hire people that are brand new out of the chute and developmental. We're going to hire the people that have some sort of track record and who we're comfortable with, and then everybody's out of a job again. So that's not good. Shop your coaches. Shop them. See what they've done. See where they've been. Have a conversation with them before you ever pay them anything. Realize whether or not you're going to be comfortable enough with them to spill all your guts out. And I'm not talking about just actors, because actors spill their guts out, sure, but models do too, because that's your emotions and your vulnerability, and you're putting it into these pictures and you're putting it on the runway, and you have to feel confident with this person. So pick somebody that you can be comfortable and confident with, someone that's going to help you grow, someone that you think knows how to constructively critique what you're doing. So if you do that, I see Ashley saying something on here. Wait a minute. Also, to bring life to item and give it life and eye-catching, just like acting to give life to character. That was like a really long run-on sentence. Sorry. Did somebody say my internet froze up? Did everybody hear everything I said? Oh my goodness. If my internet froze up while I was going through a rant, oh my gosh, I can't go backwards and do it all over. I hope you heard me. Anyway, okay, so on to the next thing you should comparison shop. Comparison shop your agencies to know whether or not you feel comfortable with them. Comparison shop their contracts, whether or not they deal with the right market that you're in, whether or not they're looking for exclusive or non-exclusive, whether or not it's for a certain period of time, whether it's 1 year or 2 years, 3 years. Comparison shop your agencies because they're not all the same. So do that. Then comparison shop your coaches so that you'll know that you're comfortable with the right person, and they don't all charge the same either. So that's a check. Find out. Look around. Don't go through the pitfall where you're not going to take the time because you don't have the time. Don't fall for that, because that company that says that they're leaving, they're coming back in 6 months. So don't worry about it. You haven't missed a thing. Okay, so anyway, the next thing you should comparison shop is photographers. And this is a tricky one because I swear the worst thing, I hate this in my job. I hate it. I hate when photographers come to me and say, would you look at my portfolio? And the reason why I hate it is because most of them don't understand talent marketing. And by talent marketing, I'm not talking about shooting a magazine spread. I'm not talking about whether or not they can create a beautiful picture or do some lovely concept or this creative thing that they've got in their heads. They can do that, sure, and they can have lovely lighting doing it. But while they have this lovely lighting, is it cutting off half of the talent's face and I can't see them? I need talent marketing. I just had one of my talents try to hire a photographer that wasn't somebody I knew, and I gave them specific instructions and showed them samples of what I liked as far as headshots go. And the guy came back to me and every shot was 3/4, not headshot, 3/4. I needed them by the following day, which then meant that I had to try to edit and crop down to see what works. Because he didn't do it. He didn't give me a headshot, not one headshot. So make sure they know what they're talking about. Make sure they do headshots. Make sure they do, you need a comp card, you don't need a whole portfolio. And I know some people say they don't do comp cards anymore, and that's really, really silly. But I'll get into that later too. That's in the marketing stuff. But anyway, you want to make sure that they use selective focus, and you want to make sure that they have good lighting and that the talent is the foreground of the photo and not something that's part of the background. You want to make sure that it's not all done landscape and that there's some that are done portrait. You want to make sure that some of their images don't look just like somebody else's images that they shot. I saw one guy's huge book, like huge. And after flipping through it and noticing that he had really nice lighting technique, that was great. His composition was nice. But I saw different kids holding the same fake ice cream cone in front of the same wall. So if I try to turn in marketing for those two kids for the same job, one of them's going to lose out, and it might be the wrong one. So you don't want to lose out just because your photo looks just like somebody else's that got sent in for the same gig. It's not good. So having that sense of imagination is really, really important. I also cannot stand when a photographer will, and especially through me, I'm a professional in the business. I should be able to see all the shots. And I know most people are going to be like, what are you talking about? If I recommend a photographer to a talent, I want to see all the shots. I want to see everything that was shot, except if you accidentally took a picture of your shoe. I'm fine with that. Delete that, whatever. But I want to see a good number of photos, because maybe you have an opinion that you like, and I'm talking to photographers, that you like this particular shot, but then maybe I like the one just before it or just after. And it might not be that big of a change, but I probably have a reason for it. I've looked at so much photography in my lifetime that it's just absurd, absolutely absurd. So you want a photographer who's going to say, here's everything. Look at it. Tell me what you like. And maybe they'll watermark it. Somebody said they've seen this and walked out. Yep. I love your comments, guys. I do. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm debating between reading the comments and using my glasses, and then you get this big glare and you can't see my face. But and here's the thing. Some of you are saying that's how I got in, and that's how I got started, was I went through this whole program and this pitfall. And the thing is that the reason why they do it is because a lot of people walk away. They will walk away if they're not pressured enough. And that's the problem. They don't think that they'll get as many people unless they pressure them, because some people are going to get freaked out by the whole thing in the first place and just not follow through. And in order to get people to do something, to really do something that might be good for them in the long run, they will pressure them. So is that wrong? I don't think it's necessary. If you really, really want this, you don't need to be pressured. You will pressure yourself, and you will continue to grow, and you will continue to do things that are going to enhance your career. But you've got to get out of being developmental. And so shop coaches, shop photographers. If you have photography that looks like you're working already, then you'll be able to fool the people that might hire you or that might sign you. It's very important that you do that, because otherwise they'll know the difference and they don't have time and they won't bother with you. And that's the shame. So, okay. Shop your photographers, shop your printing companies. There's a lot of printing companies, and you'll notice they gear their marketing towards the talent, because the talent is the one that buys this stuff. This is who pays for it. So shop your printers. If you ask them for samples of comp cards and headshots, they will send you samples, and you can find out what their quality is like and whether or not it's grainy or the color's off or whether or not the paper feels flimsy or whether they're the wrong size. You'll know because they'll send you samples. And then they all have different pricing, and they all, some have shipping costs and some don't. So you got to look at all this stuff and figure it out. So it's funny, it's people are over here mentioning names of companies, and I'm not saying names. I'm not saying names, but it's been going on for a long time. This stuff has been going on for a long time. You don't have the chance to shop your coaches. You don't have the chance to shop your photographers. You don't have the chance to shop your printers or your agencies. You don't have the time to do that because you're being pushed. and it's not necessary. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to be very careful from now on. We're not going to go into this whole situation the same way. We're going to logically say, who am I? And get real about it. Who am I? What do I have to offer? How good am I? Where should I be marketed? What should I be doing? You're going to take an honest look at yourself and an honest assessment and decide what it is that you think that you're capable of doing, what it is that fits into your life and your actual goals, and what it is that you're willing to do about it. It's like people that they gain a bunch of weight and then they're like, I really want to be thin, but I'm going to eat this candy bar. Well, that doesn't reach your goals. Same thing here. Are you willing to do what it's going to take to reach your goals? And how much of that are you willing to do? There's some things that you might say, no, it's not for me, and I don't want to do that, and that's fine. That doesn't fit into your goals. But don't BS yourself about it. So let's get some realistic expectations. Let's get some realistic information. Let's get everybody on the same page so that it's all out there and it's open and it's honest. The way that the people have been running this stuff has been causing so much fear in people that they don't know who to believe. I could sit here and I could give you a list of all the people that I've helped and their accomplishments and what they've done and whatever. But you know what? Anybody could say that. Anybody could just say that. You could believe me or you could not believe me. And I used to say that you'll see my heart or you won't see my heart. People won't see it. Sometimes they just choose not to. Fine. Like me, you don't like me, I don't care. I used to say that, and I've gotten to a point, and the reason why I'm here is because I don't want to say that anymore. Because every time somebody used the word scam, it hurt me. I get upset. Because in my seat, that word chases you, no matter what you do. No matter what you do. You can be as good to people. You can be as inexpensive. You can give people a break on all your coaching and try and do wonderful things for them. You can help them as much as you can and introduce them to people that you think are going to be wonderful, and they'll still turn around and call you a scam. It's happened to me when I did nothing wrong. And that's because people are scared. And I'm sorry that they're scared. I'm tired of them being scared. I don't want it anymore. So that's why I'm here. Gee whiz. Okay, is 800 casting a good choice, and why will it work for your child? You know what, these are good websites. Everybody's asking me about websites now. That's actually going to come in tomorrow's webinar. So I do want you to come in and attend and be at that webinar tomorrow. I did have some other announcements though. I already announced that Jordan Mitzel got the free workshop with me. So I will let you know how that's going to go. I wanted to let Pamela Lorraine know that she got 16 members into this group. So she is going to get a $25 Amazon gift card from me. So congratulations. I'm excited for you. Tomorrow, I'm going to be giving away a subscription to Vogue, because what model doesn't need a subscription to Vogue? So I'm going to be giving away a subscription to Vogue. And then I'm going to also be giving away that assessment of your marketing to the first person that puts their homework up. So for the first person that fills up their stuff and posts it in the unit, then you're going to get a marketing assessment with me. So, some people just joined and it's like, I'm over in 1 minute and 15 seconds. I guess they didn't read their time zones. It's Eastern Standard Time, guys. So tomorrow it's going to be the same sort of a thing. I hope you found this informative. I hope you found this interesting and different. I hope that it touched in you some real good points that are going to stick with you and they're going to help you move forward. So that's what this whole series is about. I'm going to be here every night, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm going to be giving you enough information that I'm hoping it will change your path. I'm hoping it will change your trajectories so that you can, avoid certain things, or that so you can feel inspired to know that there is a way to get past being developmental. There is a way to get really good at being an actor or an actress, and therefore book more jobs, and therefore deserve the pay that you should have coming to you, and get signed with really high quality agencies that are booking all the time. That's what you need, and that's what you want, and that's what I'm going to help try to guide you towards. So I'm hoping that you all enjoyed this a great deal. I'm hoping that you'll be back tomorrow night. How many people think they're coming back tomorrow night to watch me again? Post and tell me. Post and tell me, because I want to see you again. Oh goodness, I think they're off on another tangent over here in the post things in the comments. I don't know what you people are talking about, but anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for being here tonight. I want to see you again tomorrow. Take care. I don't even know how to shut this off. Okay, there we go. I'm going to post this for a replay, so in case you need to go back to it and look at it again, it'll be posted in the unit. Have a good night, guys.